from Richmond, California, an American success story in Paris. Donc, de la Californie à Paris, nous avons une Américaine qui s'est imposée dans l'industrie de la beauté. Hello, Stacy. Welcome. So, Stacy, you know, we're going to be doing this in English and in French. So, stay tuned. Hello, Gianni. Welcome. We're going to mix French and English. My guest, actually, she's American, but she also speaks French. But we're trying to accommodate people. And since she's based in Paris, we probably will be speaking more in French than in English. But, you know, we're going to make it, you know, in a way that everyone gets something out of it. If not, you know, on a replay, there will be subtitled. So with no further ado, I'm just going to, you know, introduce myself briefly. Donc bonjour, je suis Yasmina Edwards. Pour ceux qui ne me connaissent pas, je suis la fondatrice de ep.2 Agency. Donc c'est une agence de consulting basée à New York et qui a pour mission d'accompagner les personnalités publiques et les marques de produits haut de gamme, francophones, à les aider à s'implanter et à développer leur notoriété à l'international, notamment en Amérique du Nord. Alors, pourquoi Breaking New Ground? Breaking New Ground, en fait, j'ai été inspirée, j'ai écrit un article, j'ai publié un article il y a 2 ans sur True Africa, dont le titre est How an Immigrant Mindset Can Help America Cope with COVID. Donc, comment le mindset d'un immigrant peut aider l'Amérique à justement faire face à Covid. On était tous dans le confinement. Hello Nicole. Et j'ai réalisé que mon entourage, j'avais beaucoup d'amis expatriés comme moi qui souhaitent s'implanter ou qui vivent déjà à l'étranger. Et je trouvais que c'était important ou intéressant de partager justement leur parcours unique. So with no further ado, I'm going to bring Nicole to the mix. She's our guest, and I'm very, very excited that she's here. Look at you, girl!
Hello, Yasmina.
Hello, where are you?
Home
outside? It's like, yeah. What time is it in Paris right now?
It's 7 o'clock. It's still light out. It's summertime in Paris.
Oh, that's the beauty.
I moved here. It's amazing.
Look at you. Well, listen, we're not gonna share where you are, but it looks like you're in a very nice place. And I'm so happy that you were able to join from Paris. And I'm telling my guests that we are going to do a mix of English and French. Yep. I'm seeing, you're based in Paris, so we're going to try to speak a bit more in French than in English. So with no further ado, je vais dire à tous les invités, Nicole Pembrook est là, elle est à Paris, elle parle très bien le français, c'est une Américaine qui a quitté Richmond, California, il y a une 20aine d'années pour s'installer à Paris. Et voilà. Donc, Nicole, whatever you feel, English, French, but people want to know, what is your story? Why Paris? I left France to move to America. You left America to move in France. And I want to know why and how did that happen?
Well, initially when I first started traveling, I was mostly going through the States, and then I finally got the opportunity to go overseas to another country. So we did Japan, we did London, and we came to Paris. And Paris was just so bourgeoisie.
So bourgeoisie. J'adore comment tu le dis. What do you mean so bourgeoisie?
No, just the lifestyle, the being able to do your shopping outside, at the market and get fresh food almost anywhere, drinking great wine for, under $10, I'm a foodie, so of course the gastronomic side was definitely a go. And just Paris is beautiful, you know, just like today. I mean, like I came in springtime of 2001.
2001. Just a
Yeah,
question. That was before, obviously, 9/11, right before, a few months before
right
9/11.
before like 9/11, right before. I remember not having Canal Plus, okay, in my apartment yet. No cable, you know, and dealing with the
Wow.
co-propriety in the syndicat because
Wow.
of that, because we couldn't do the satellite and there was no way to get cable. And that's the whole syndicat. You know how the French people are. And that
I
was a
do. I'm
catastrophe. So, but
French.
anyway, yes, right before 9/11.
Donc, alors attends,
Ah,
on va revenir au début. Donc, tu arrives à Paris au printemps 2001.
exactement. Printemps
Printemps
de,
2001, tu décides de t'installer à Paris ou tu fais un bac, tu fais des
voilà.
back and
J'ai
forth?
décidé, j'avais déjà fait quelques allers-retours. En fait, après le première, c'est ça que je disais tout à l'heure, ma première expérience à Paris, c'était tellement édifiante dans tout le plan, en fait, donc culturel, spirituel, visuel. Tu vois, c'était vraiment, ça m'a bouleversé dans quelque part de que les gens peuvent vivre une vie aussi simple, aussi magnifique, dans un bon cadre. Donc, c'est là que ça s'est décidé que, bon, ça va être bien si on peut déménager. Donc, je suis venue avec deux copines, donc mes clientes à l'époque, une qui était mannequin et une qui était écrivante. Et
Oh,
donc, on a fait quelques allers-retours ensemble. On a trouvé l'appartement dans le 13e, rue de Pâté, rue de Taubiac. Bouygues
hmm,
Telecom Construction, dans le 9, 110 mètres carrés avec 60 mètres de cour. On était en haut. On était
wow.
vraiment beau. On avait un bel appartement et on est venu vraiment pour juste réaliser notre rêve d'être un expat, de vivre dans un autre pays, de prendre une autre langue, de prendre d'autres cultures, de vivre une expérience, une real experience.
Donc, la question, c'est que donc, tu arrives à Paris, tu te dis, qu'est-ce que je vais faire? Tu savais déjà ce que tu voulais faire? Did you already know when you moved to Paris that, okay, I'm going to launch my business, I'm going to do this? What was in your mind? Because basically at this point, we moved from California to France.
So before moving to Paris, I had already been working and full time in the beauty salon for about 8 years.
Where?
So I dropped out of high school at the end of 10th grade. I just didn't go back, and I ended up going to beauty college instead. My mother was a successful business owner in the Bay Area for many years, and one day she came home. She caught me doing my girlfriend's hair to go out to a party, and she was like, "Who did that?" And they're like, "Nicole just did it." She turned and looked at me. She was like, "You're going to beauty college tomorrow." Like as in tomorrow. And I think literally within a week I was enrolled in beauty college. I did my
Wow.
9 months, challenged the state board, got my license, and at 17 I was in the salon working 12-hour days already.
Wow.
So by the
17
time
years
I got
old.
to Paris, I was already like, you know, full time in the salon, had established my clientele. I was driving a BMW. I had a condominium. I was shopping at Saks and Neiman Marcus every weekend. And I
Mm,
was just like, okay, I'm just going to live another adventure. You know, I'm going to just do something else. And
mm.
that's how I got here. Luckily,
Okay.
my girlfriends were flight attendants as well. That helped a lot too.
Who was the flight attendant? I'm sorry?
Both of my girlfriends that I came here with were both flight attendants.
Oh. So just a
So that,
little recap in French for those who are speaking French and don't speak English. Nicole, en fait, a commencé à être dans l'industrie de cheveux, être coiffeuse à l'âge de 17 ans. Donc, quand elle est arrivée à Paris, elle avait déjà une dizaine d'années dans le métier. Et elle est arrivée avec ses copines qui étaient d'ailleurs, how do you say flight attendant in French? I forgot.
hôtesse de l'air.
Hôtesse de l'air.
Voilà.
Et donc, c'est ce qui lui a permis de pas mal voyager. So now you're coming to France, you're coming to Paris, you're settling, you have your apartment dans le 13e arrondissement. Then what?
So then I just started looking for clients, basically. I'm on live, Soraya. I'll call you back. Sorry. Sorry, I forgot to turn off my business phone. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. You're still running your business. That's the thing.
All the time, stop, won't stop, don't stop.
That's
Can't stop.
right.
So yeah, initially, when we first moved, I could fly back and forth, like until 9/11, I had full flight privileges. I would go back to California every 6 weeks and do all of my clients within a week, 10 days. And then I would come back to Paris and then spend up all my money, basically, right? That was the thing initially. And so after 9/11, that was no longer sustainable because, of course, my girlfriends didn't want to fly anymore. So they quit. And then I was really stuck in Paris. Like, it's like, okay, if you want to go home, you got to buy your ticket and go home, So that's when really things kicked in and survival mode really kicked in. So, like I said, I got here in about March of 2001. And 9/11 was in September. So I'd only been here been in 6 months in. And had been going back and forth in between time. And then once that happened, it was like, okay, you have to figure out how to make it work here. And so luckily, I'm very, business minded. I got my business cards done right away. Every Black woman that I would see on the street, I would stop her and I'd be like, hi, I'm American. I could do your hair, cheveux, cheveux. You like my hair?
So, yeah.
Yes,
so
yes, I do.
Nicole, let's pause for a minute. Because in your case, how was your French at that point?
It was zero. It was non-existent. Like literally, bonsoir. I would be like, "Excuse me, what? What did he say? What was that?" Even bonsoir.
Wow.
I had no education in French. I just got off the boat, honey, and was like, "I'm here." So
wow. So how were you received? Because there's this thing about French people being rude when you don't speak their language. How were you received? Comment c'était?
Well, I went to the commissaire once or twice in the beginning.
Can you share a specific story? Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé? Tu as parlé en français, t'as parlé en anglais et on t'a rejeté?
Should I speak in English or in French? Like,
whatever, but I'm guessing it happened in French, no?
How did the French.
So tell us the story in French then.
OK. Donc, en fait, moi, mes copines, donc, en fait, on avait vraiment, donc, un hygiène de vie très bobo, on va dire, où on se levait, on prépare le smoothie, on va faire on court, on fait nos sports, on entre à la maison, on fait de méditation, on fait un sieste, après on sort dans le soir parce qu'il y a
la belle vie, quoi.
On avait nos rituels, OK? Donc, là, particulièrement, on a descendu vers la bibliothèque où on faisait les escaliers, en fait, en course, en fait. Donc, à l'arrivée de notre course, on faisait les escaliers, on montait, descendu comme Rocky, quoi. Tu vois ce que je veux dire?
Donc, en fait, votre routine sportive, c'était de monter et descendre les escaliers?
Si, on montait et descendait les escaliers de bibliothèque. C'était dans le quartier, donc on descendait rue de Pâté vers Jeanne d'Arc, on descendait jusqu'en bas, presque vers l'hôpital qui sont là-bas. Et après, on est revenu maintenant, à la fin de la course, on faisait les escaliers. Donc, ces jours-là, on s'est tombé sur la police de la bibliothèque François Mitterrand. D'accord?
La police de bibliothèque François Mitterrand. La police. Pourquoi la police? What happened with the police?
Tout petit poste, en fait, le tournant là-bas. Et donc, ils nous arrêtent pour dire, bon, voilà, on peut pas courir là. Donc, on était déjà littéralement presque à la fin, OK? Ma copine et moi, on continue à courir, non? On fait comme si on ne comprend pas. On dit, no French. We don't speak French. Girl. Tu parles aujourd'hui, même à cette époque-là, ça partit en live, tu vois là-bas. Donc, on s'est fini. En fait, moi et elle, au commissaire, parce qu'on n'avait pas nos pièces d'identité sur nous, parce qu'on faisait le sport. Donc, il avait le droit de nous prendre. Tu comprends ce que je veux dire?
Yes. Voilà. Je
Donc,
le redis, les gens doivent comprendre qu'en France, I guess French speaking understand that, a police officer in France has the right to stop you and ask you for your ID. That's why it's mandatory to always have your ID when you walk in France, especially when you're Black. But anyway, go ahead.
And we didn't want to stop running either. So we stood up in the police station dealing with these French people over here. They really are something else a lot of times. But you know, you learn to stick and move, I guess, a little bit better eventually.
And you're also an American who's been stopped by a police officer, a French police officer. So I don't think that the treatment is as bad.
Yeah, I guess it depends. That's I
But
guess depends on the circumstance, you know.
but anyway, you were able to get away from it. You didn't have your paper, so then you pretty much let you go. C'est ce qui s'est passé?
Yeah, they let me go. I mean, once they check and see who we are, you know, we had the right to be there. So I mean, you know, I wasn't
D'accord.
quote unquote illegal immigrant. You know, I was still on the visa for 3 months, and as long as I left out of the territory and came back, I was good in the beginning. So that's how I did that.
D'accord. So
Mm-hmm.
now, at the beginning of the live, I said that one of the things that I did 2 years ago during the confinement, one of the biggest events in the world was for me was COVID, and then in 9/11 was actually 9/11 because actually part of the world shut down for a minute. So
Absolutely.
were you at that point in September 2001? Were you in Paris or were you in the US?
I was in Paris. I was in Paris, and there was no telephone service for a while. I remember could not call home, you know, to figure out if everything was okay. My girlfriends that I moved with actually had friends that were on one of those flights as well, flight attendant friends or colleagues. So
Mm-hmm.
that hit home definitely for them as well. And we just felt like we were really cut off from the world, you know, for, you know, a few days, which was super
Okay.
long.
And how now? What I would like to understand the entire transition, the back and forth, and then you finally said, "Okay, I have to make a choice." That's the choice of many people make when they decide sometime to move into a new country without having something built there. Because really now you have to make a choice to build something for yourself in France. Can you please explain to us when did that happen and how did that happen? Because you brought your skill sets, you brought your experience, and you brought also your love for France, for Paris. So when did that
Yes.
transition happen and how?
Well, from initially, you know, I would definitely always try to solicit clients from the beginning, from, you know, um, and that was something that helped just kind of push me over and make sure that I was able to stay and have, you know, a revenue that I could count on. Um, I did get a job for a brief moment in a beauty salon here, but I wasn't really familiar yet with the beauty salon politics in Paris and how things work here. So me being very entrepreneurial spirit, it wasn't what I resonated with. So I decided to turn one of my rooms in my apartment into a small beauty salon. So that is when I became like really totally independent. And I invested in, you know, everything that I needed to work efficiently from out of the home. So like you weren't getting your hair washed in my kitchen sink, for example. You know, I had a whole bathroom that was dedicated, shower space that was dedicated to washing hair. And it was a system D, you know, a total system D. Like if I
The
had to
system
tell
D.
you, girl. So luckily the apartment was like a newer, very new apartment. Nobody had lived in there. So the actual shower hadn't been closed off yet. So he hadn't put the you know,
Okay.
the doors on it. So it was just like an open shower. So what I would do is I put my styling chair up against the shower, and I would have my client just kind of scooch down in the chair like this and lay her head back.
Oh,
And then I would have my plastic capes from the United States that I would put them on backwards. So you got your towel
wow.
and you got the plastic cape on backwards so that the water will run down on the plastic cape and go right into the shower.
Wow.
Yes. And you leaning back, it ain't nothing in your eyes. We ain't messing up nobody makeup. You
Mm.
know, we're comfortable. You're at you know, height. You're at is me. So it's more comfortable even to work like that. And then from there, I ended up having even an assistant. I mean, it developed like so quickly, I would say. Within the first 3 years, I had to get an assistant to help wash hair for me. And relax
And
and stuff.
at that point, you're still operating from your house. You haven't
Absolutely.
opened the
Haven't,
salon on Les Champs-Élysées. But I do have
no,
a
working
question
from
for
home.
you, because you're one of the few entrepreneurs, very few, not the only, but very few entrepreneurs that I know who left America to move to France. And you said something earlier. You said that you worked for a minute for a French hair salon, but clearly I'm guessing the way your entrepreneurial spirit didn't match. Can you give us a specific example of what you think didn't, why wasn't a good fit for you?
Well, I mean, because I worked before with my mother, I think that I kind of been very sheltered to salon politics, such as gossip and, just taking people's clients or, whatever would be happening
Okay.
in the salon. So that was one thing, which, initially didn't bother me, quite frankly, because I couldn't even understand what people were saying about me. I had no idea. It was actually one of my clients was like, I had brought cookies and, I stopped at Laura Todd's, honey, bought them all expensive cookies, the whole 10 of them for the team because, I work with my mom. So it's all about team spirit. We're about to get in this together. We're about to bubble, girl. They was talking about me. My client was like, Nicole, I don't think they like you very much. I was like, really? I'm like, you have got to be careful kidding me, eating my cookies.
Oh my God.
So
Okay.
there was
Well,
that.
mhm.
That atmosphere in the salon of lack of collision together to dedication together, and then also the pay as well, because I didn't do any research about how much people made in Paris or in Europe before I moved, which was a mistake. So anybody out there that wants to move to France, hunty, let me tell you that the average salary is not that much. It's like really less than half of what you would be accustomed to, personally. I mean, because I came from making €1,000, $1,000 a week in California to moving to Paris and being proposed in a salon, maybe 1,200 for the month, 1,500 for the
1,200 what?
month.
A
Yeah,
month?
for a month. Yeah,
Mm.
for a month's work.
Mm.
So the decision was very easy for me. I'm like, ooh, you don't have to worry about me. Y'all don't have to worry about me. I stayed a month and a half and I was like, y'all, you know what? I love
So
y'all, but
you only stayed there for a month and a half.
yeah, I think I might have did
Oh,
2 months maximum because when I got my first
okay, so
salary, I
that
was
was a
like,
quickie.
oh,
You did.
wait a minute. And then the next month I was like, okay, I need to renegotiate maybe or something, but mm-mm.
D'accord. So so I understand now you just like, okay, this is not working for me. I really need to start relying on myself. I'm going to do this system D, run my business from my apartment. Great. You did that for how long? 3 years, 4 years?
It might have been a little bit more than that. So let's see. I moved in 2001, and then my son was born in 2002, and my daughter was born in 2004.
Okay.
And then I was like, I didn't move here just to have kids and work from home. So we actually opened Polished Hair Care in 2006. So it took us about 2 years, well, about maybe a year after I started feeling better again after having a second child and kind of getting back in the workforce again. I was like, okay, I can't be at home, have a nanny at home, watch my kids at home, do hair at home, see my
Mm,
husband at home. It was just too much,
mm,
So I had to
mm.
get out of that house, and that's when Polished Hair Care was born.
So I want to go to Polish hair care because what you did, for people who don't know, and I'm going to say it in English because French people would probably know, you were actually one. I want to understand why Polish hair care you chose. I mean, I know why, but I want you to share it with the audience. Why did you choose to open Polish hair care in Les Champs-Élysées, one of the most prestigious avenue in the world? I mean, it's the equivalency of Fifth Avenue here or Park Avenue. And as an American hairstylist, can you please give us a sense of 2006, the beauty world when it comes to women looking like us? What did it look like right in France at that point?
So when my career started to really kind of take off more here in Paris, and I decided to open the salon. I remember at the time, there were about maybe 4 or 5 different very popular hair salons that were doing great work, like Canelia, Pierre-Yves Lila, Sandrine from Davidas, I think, Sandrine Davidas. She had a really nice salon as well. But nobody was searching to raise the level as far as luxury yet. And I think, for me, my mother, when I was younger, my mother always tried to introduce me to very luxurious things, eating out, going to nice places. She introduced me to that very, very early. So it's just kind of something that's kind of a second notion for me, I always find a way to have some type of luxury within the day, whatever it is, even if it's taking a salt bath, So I was looking initially like in Saint-Germain-des-Prés, Saint-Michel. I really loved that area quite a bit initially when I first moved. That's where most of the Americans come and hang out when they move here anyway. And we were just hitting brick roads, me and my ex-husband, because he's Black, he's Cameroonese origin. When I would call the agents to look for a space, and with me speaking English, and my last name is Pembrook, so of course it's very anglaise, so they just kind of automatically assumed that I was white. When I would come and visit the location, they would be like, oh, okay, madame, so you want to do what? Do hair. And they would even tell me, like, I think you need to go look like around Châtelet and Sebastopol, that would be like a better area for you. I was like, baby, honey, I done been down there. They almost beat my ass. I cannot wait there. I'm sorry. I almost got beat up one time down there, like literally. Going down there looking for work, they was like, no work for you.
So you ended up having this amazing location that I've been to. That's how we met.
Yes.
C'était quoi l'adresse? J'ai oublié ta première adresse.
It was 78 Avenue de Champs-Élysées. So we were right on the second floor, on top of Starbucks, which was now Starbucks. At the time, it used to be Planet Hollywood. We were on top of initially. Back at that, when we came there, it was Planet Hollywood. So they've been gone. And we were there for 11 years.
So I would like you to tell us about, there's something that you did. You were not just a hairstylist coming from America. We had plenty of conversation about that. When you came to France back in the early 2000s, French women of African parentage or African descent were treating their hair very differently than they're treating their hair now. So can you give us a bit of an insight of your experience when you were there?
When I first moved here, and how women were treating their hair.
Voilà, tu sais les histoires de, elles mettaient des perruques, c'était toujours des tissages, enfin,
yes.
tu vois ce que je veux dire?
Yes.
Oups.
Oh, cut out a
Nicole,
little.
Je t'ai un peu perdu, tu nous entends?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Alors,
okay.
donc,
voilà, c'est juste un peu ton analyse de la situation.
Maybe.
Vas-y, oui, je pense que tu peux faire un peu de français.
Yeah, women were... Un peu de français? OK. Alors, donc, les femmes, quand j'arrivais sur Paris, en fait, il y en avait évidemment beaucoup de tissage. Mais malgré ça, il y avait quand même un grand désir, en fait, auprès de les femmes africaines francophones, notamment ma clientèle initiale, était premièrement le Congolais, Camerounais, Ivoirien, Sénégalais, Gabonais. Donc, vraiment, la francophonie pure. Elle avait vraiment envie de découvrir ses cheveux. Donc, je crois que j'arrivais à un stade où il y avait un niche qui avait besoin d'être exploité. À l'époque, c'était beaucoup plus le défrisage. On avait envie de faire de belles coupes carrées, les coupes à la Halle Berry. Tu vois ce que je veux dire? Les choses comme ça, ou juste, voilà, maintain un petit peu de longueur et faire le wrap. Donc, c'était quelque chose qui, évidemment, no-brainer pour moi. Le soin des cheveux, c'est vraiment mon atout, mon voix. En fait, j'adore ça. J'adore occuper les femmes, de faire sentir bien, non seulement dans l'intérieur, mais aussi tout qui va avec. Et donc, c'était un moment d'assise, de développer avec un clientèle et de faire comprendre ses propres cheveux, de faire sortir de ce cercle vicieux de toujours être obligé d'avoir quelque chose sur la tête.
Voilà, c'est important de le dire. Et moi, d'ailleurs, bon, je t'ai connu en 2017 avec une ancienne cliente. Ce qui a été très intéressant, c'est que la conversation autour du cheveu naturel, on était déjà très avancé aux États-Unis par rapport à cette conversation, mais c'est une conversation en fait qui est arrivée après en France. Et toi, en tant qu'Américaine, en tout cas, moi, c'était mon ressenti. Je pense que c'est le ressenti de probablement beaucoup de Françaises d'origine. Tu donnais une espèce de crédibilité par rapport à ça. Parce que toi-même, tu étais américaine et tu es américaine noire. Et les américaines noires sont toujours considérées comme étant des expertes dans tout ce qui
Exact.
concerne le cheveu. Tu es d'accord avec moi?
Tout à fait, oui, tout à fait. Donc,
Donc
oui,
vas-y, vas-y.
oui, donc oui, l'expertise, c'est quelque chose qui a développé énormément dans les dernières 15 ans sur Paris. C'est même moi, au début, quand j'ai ouvert en 2006, je ne faisais pas beaucoup de cheveux naturels. Il y avait toujours quelques-unes qui sont par exemple toujours été naturelles, qui a besoin de plus. En plus, comme j'étais sur le Champs-Élysées, on avait beaucoup de gens qui sont venus d'ailleurs, des autres pays. Donc, forcément, je continue à exercer la main sur le silk press ou le coupe sur cheveux afro, etc. Mais ça a vraiment explosé vers le 2012. 2012, vers là, en fait, j'ai vraiment commencé à prier beaucoup plus sur le cheveu naturel et la clientèle a directement pris un tournée où j'avais peut-être 75% de gens avec cheveux traités chimiquement. Et ça a complètement changé. C'est l'opposite, en fait. Donc,
Qu'est-ce que tu penses parce que tu dis que ça a explosé en 2012. Qu'est-ce que tu penses qui s'est passé en 2012, selon toi? Ou c'est juste arrivé comme ça?
non, je crois que de femmes noires, en fait, elle avait marre, en fait, de toujours être en otage de ses cheveux. Parce qu'une femme, quand on est jeune, on a beaucoup plus de temps libre pour occuper de soi. Quand on commence à entrer dans la vie quotidienne avec le carrière, avec le mari, avec les enfants, on a de moins en moins de temps de dédiquer à qui nous sommes. Donc, le passage au naturel, c'est donc quelque part une libération pour beaucoup de femmes d'être capable d'être qui elle est et ne pas être obligée de retourner tous les 6 semaines, par exemple, pour faire le retouche de défrisage ou retourner tout un mois pour reposer un tissage. Donc, je crois que cette shift est arrivée parce qu'on a eu l'économie, en fait, a vachement changé. Tu vois, dans toutes ces années-là aussi. En fait, il y a eu un grand shift économique après le 11 septembre et tout ce qui est parti avec. Quand j'arrivais sur Paris, c'était l'euro, c'était le franc. Il y avait encore le franc. Donc, il y avait beaucoup plus de croissance, beaucoup plus de cash, beaucoup plus d'argent. Et avec le temps, en fait, tout le monde revoit ses priorités, je crois.
C'est vrai, c'est vrai. Alors, donc, je veux rappeler aux gens qui nous rejoignent, on est là avec Nicole Pembrook, qui est à Paris, qui a émigré de la Californie pour s'installer à Paris. Elle y vit depuis plus de 20 ans. Elle a un business qui est successful. Son premier salon était sur les Champs-Élysées. Et l'objectif de but de cet installage, c'est vraiment de vous inspirer. Être immigré dans un autre pays, ça demande un mindset qui est très différent. Et il y a des up and down. Donc, je peux le dire de façon transparente. Donc, il y a eu un down. Tu t'es séparé de ton mari et tu as dû repartir à zéro. Et je pense que c'est important que tu partages avec nous ce que ça veut dire repartir à zéro quand tu es dans un pays en fait qui n'est pas toujours pas le tien. Tu parles bien le français maintenant, mais tu as dû refaire les choses à zéro et je voudrais que tu en parles et que tu nous dises où tu en es aujourd'hui en fait. So let me just say it in English very quickly as well. because I
Okay.
was just, for those who join and who do not speak French, I'm here with Nicole Pembrook, who moved from California to Paris, and launched a successful business. Opened her first salon in the Champs-Élysées, and then as any business owners, there's up and down. And she separated from her husband, and she had to start from scratch and build herself up emotionally, and also professionally. And Nicole, I would like you to share with the world, what does it mean, especially you're an immigrant in France. So tell us.
Well, I definitely, let's see, where do I start? To
What
have to pick
happened
up
when you
and
decided, for instance, just to be specific, okay, shit happened, now I have to start. What does it mean? How was your mind was working? You're not in California anymore. You're in Paris. You have two kids, and you're in France. And I guess you have your community of clients who are there for you.
hmm Well, yeah, definitely. When you have to start over again, it can be challenging, I think, definitely for your mental state. What really helped me get over that hurdle, what I would say easier, was definitely the time that I spent before everything fell apart. Meditating, praying, um, asking myself and being able to give myself what I really wanted. So, when anybody comes to a screeching halt in their life, in any different type of reason, whether it's in your family home or whether it's in your work or even even if it's within your own self, there are always signs and incidences and steps that are leading up to that point where you have the choice to make
Mm.
a decision to either continue, try to make things work, continue to passively walk through that hurdle, walk through that difficulty. But the thing that really helped me was before I already told myself that when the day comes, I will be ready.
Mm.
So I had already started working on myself. I'd already started my diet. I was working out. I was eating healthier already. I was practicing everyday mindfulness.
Mm.
I was not entertaining any type of insanity or negative experiences anymore. And that had already gave me the strength and the energy because I was keeping my energy for all that time building up to the breaking point.
Mm.
Um, I was ready. I was really ready. And when I found out the day that I found out that the salon was closed, because it was my employees that told me, that they dropped off the paper here 2 weeks ago, girl, that we're in liquidation judicial. And
Mm.
tomorrow we're all at the CSP, we all
Mm.
getting fired tomorrow, Nicole. I was like, what? Me too?
Mm.
Okay. Thank you, Jesus.
Mm.
Because in a certain sense, when you're not happy in a situation, when you don't like what's going on in your life, we always pray and we ask God, help us. Help me, God.
Mm.
Help me figure this out. Help me do the right thing. Help me live a better life. But when God says,
Mm.
okay, Nicole, you want to live a better life? You know what, boo? We're about to shut this shit down, man. How about that?
That's right.
Are you ready? Or is you ready? And that's the thing, because when everything came crashing down, I just was like, instead of looking at it as, oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to make it? Well, how am I going to eat? How are me and my children going to eat? Where am I going to live? I have no savings. I have no car. I have no, instead of focusing on all of that, I focused on the fact that God, you freed me. You freed me. Thank you. Because whatever I don't have is better than having what I had before. Sometimes it gets to that point.
Mm.
Sometimes it gets to that point where it's like, I don't want this no more. And then you start putting that energy in the air, and then God says, okay, you don't want it, let's take it out, let's do something else, and then you scared. No, it's time, it's game time. That's what it is. So I did nothing, no fighting after that. None. No arguing, no fighting, no going back to when. We're moving forward now. I started out at my girlfriend's apartment, who was gone in Atlanta. Really good client, sister friend, up till this day. I told her what happened. She was like, go get the keys. The Guardian has the keys. I'm on Victor Hugo. I'm right around the corner. Honey, I moved that whole damn beauty salon by
Sisterhood.
myself. And by myself in a Mercedes coupe, okay? I probably did 10 alley retour, okay? From the Champs-Élysées to Victor Hugo to set up my little beauty salon in her apartment. I got an Airbnb right after that. As soon as I made enough money, okay, let's get independent. Well, Airbnb where I lived at and I worked at.
Well, let me pause for a minute, because what you're saying is so inspiring, and I've seen you during that time a little bit. It's about sisterhood. This is the conversation that I've been having, especially post-COVID. How we need to take care of each other. When things, go down the ring. Donc, je le dirai même en français, de quelques mots en français. Tu vas continuer en anglais si tu le souhaites. Donc, Nicole s'est séparée de son mari. Elle était employée, en tout cas de façon juridique, par rapport à la société. Et la société a été liquidée. Donc, du jour au lendemain, elle s'est retrouvée à la rue, that's really the word, avec ses employés. Et elle a commencé, parce qu'elle avait une amie qui avait un appartement sur Paris qui lui a prêté. Elle a recommencé du début à son salon de l'appartement de son amie. Et ensuite, quand elle a eu du cash, elle a pris un Airbnb et elle a continué. So continue on, girlfriend. Your story is fascinating. So I'm getting all those waves. So you're on Airbnb, and from there, but when all of that is happening, you obviously you already had a vision that you wanted to get where you are today. So what is the difference between where you are today, aside from you're independent, your cash flow is great, you're paying your taxes? What's the difference? How would you describe where you are today as contrary to where you were before?
So I would definitely say that I really was able to create my space in my image. Like, this is really mine, Whereas before, working with a business partner, it's always a shared event. Everything has to be decided on by both people. You have to get the okay, make sure that the other person is okay. With this being my space, I can do with it as I see fit. And I think this is the first time that for me, I've been a real boss lady, because every decision that is happening, I'm not asking anybody else except God.
That's right.
Yes.
You are a boss lady. The fact that you're saying that is so empowering. You just, even for you, right?
I finally accepted that I'm a boss. It took a long time. It took a long
time because you're accepting you are the boss, because now you're seeing success and you're doing it on your own, even though I'm sure it's not perfect all the time.
Absolutely.
So you in Airbnb. So when did you from Airbnb to where you are today? And please remind people where your business is, so people who are joining, who want to go to Paris. Yes, you are the boss. Someone is saying that. So
thank you, Tina.
So how did you go from Airbnb to where you are today?
Hey, Cherie. So after the Airbnb, okay, so that was the thing. So when it rains, it pours. So like literally at the end of July, we were liquidated. My girlfriend,
can you remind the year? 2017, right?
2017, yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
August, first week of August. The one good thing that I had on my side was a little bit of time, because in August we were already working 3 days out of the week, because in France everything closes down in August, so we were already on restricted days. So I had about 4 days to find a place. So I ended up at my girlfriend's apartment. I stayed there for a week, the first week, and then I got the Airbnb. Now,
Mm.
I worked in the Airbnb the first weekend, and the nosy guardian downstairs was already sniffing around. So the second week, the next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, when I had the next set of clients coming in, because it wasn't every day that I was doing clients, but it was like compact, you know. Oh, it just it was awful. I had paid for the whole month, and finally I couldn't do hair. After 2 weeks in, I couldn't do hair out of there anymore either. So I was just
Mm.
like, okay, Lord, I'm surrendering. I don't know what to do. You know, I remember
Mm.
the day that the landlord called me and told me, you know, if you would have told me the truth, because I didn't tell him that I would be doing hair there, he would have organized it with the guardian. But I was so afraid that he might not give me the Airbnb
I
that I
understand.
was like, you know, so I was like, okay. So I went and sat down in the coffee shop, and I was like, okay. And I just opened up Google, and I was like, well, you need to rent a chair somewhere, or 3 chairs, because it was not only
Mm.
me, but I had 3 other girls from my staff that followed me, right? So I'm
Mm.
still
Mm.
not just worrying about Nicole. I sat
Mm.
down at that coffee shop and I Googled, you know, a couple of different salons. The first one that came up, I called, left a message. The guy, he said, you know, I have a break in about 15 minutes. Can you come by? And I said, I'm on my way. I'm in the Uber now. I went there. It was on the Rue Saint Honore. So beautiful location, right on top of Fendi. It was in an apartment space, so it was amazing because even our first salon on Polish was not on the street. We were, you know, private, you know,
Yeah.
kind of upscale salon. So it kind of went with the same energy of what I had before, but the address was even better than the Champs Elysees, because Rue Saint Honore
Right.
is like super chic, right? So
Guilty.
I get in there and I talk with the guy, and you know, after lying about the Airbnb, you know, the spirit was like, you know,
Mm.
tell the truth, Nicole.
Mm.
And I just told him, I said, you know, I'm on the street, basically. I have a full clientele. I can make money right away, but I have nowhere to work.
I'm on the
So,
street. You actually told him that I'm on the street.
oh, absolutely.
Champs Elysees. You are getting about to get
Yes.
a space in Saint Honoré, Rue Saint Honoré, and you say to him,
Yes.
"I'm on the street." And what did he
I'm
say?
on the street. He said, does this space that you're sitting in now, do you like it? I said, it's lovely. He gave me the key the same day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kareem gave me the key the same day. And I worked there for a year until we built up our clientele again, because I had to I had to do the communique online saying that Polish Haircut was closed. It took
Mm.
me about, I didn't do that until early September, because I was like, I needed to figure out where I was going to be permanently before I start communicating and telling people what happened. So, you know, we took a hit um uh financially, because you know people can't find you, you know, when they close your
Yeah,
store down. They shut down your telephone. You don't have access to your website no more. You don't, you know, you if you don't have your clients numbers,
that's right. The guy,
you know, you are just,
people are saying all he heard was full clientele. People are saying bravo. Please send some heart to Nicole on this live, because I mean, starting from scratch in New York is one thing, because New York the US is the land of opportunity. But starting from scratch in France, I applaud you, my sister. You know,
yeah,
because that's a different animal. So here we are
yes.
now. You have a place. Are you still there, by the way? Because I haven't seen you, well, since COVID.
No, no. So that was the first year. So I stayed with Kareem on the Rue Saint Honore for the first year with 3
Mm-hmm.
of my staff members. We worked
Mm-hmm.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday only, and we took the time to rebuild up our clientele. And the space was getting a bit small for us. So I
Mm-hmm.
had the opportunity to move. I found a bigger location on the Boulevard Courcelles, which is a really great location as well.
Yeah. Boulevard Coupe.
Had pretty much the salon to myself there, and we could take more clients and be more comfortable in the space, you know,
Mm-hmm.
basically. And it had my massage chairs that I absolutely love, that are my signature. So that was a go. So we went
Okay.
there for a year as well. In between time, I was just living my life like it was golden, honey. I was traveling. I was just paying my rent. I didn't have no overhead. I was
Mm-hmm.
like on a plane, honey, just going all over the place. I had such a great 2 years when I was not a boss, quote unquote, when I had less responsibility. So I was loving renting a space. from somebody else and not have to worry about the plumbing, not have to worry about any of
Mm,
that, you know?
mm, mm, mm.
And then the guy was like, well, Nicole, we might have to take our space back. And I was like, wait a minute. Okay, so that's the problem with working for somebody else. They can tell you to leave whenever they want to.
Mm.
And that's when the light came on. I was like, okay, you did 1 year in one place, you moved because you wanted to move. You did another year in another place. They tell you to move. You might need to get your own place now, And since money was coming in, and I was like, okay, let's get it cracking. So literally, after he told me that he might need a space back, it took me probably about 4 months before I opened IB.
Wow, 4 months. Boss lady,
Yeah.
guys, please type in boss lady. That's what we're talking. You're making those boss lady move.
Ah,
So that's where you are now, right?
that's where I am now. So it will be 3 years that an international beauty expert has been open. Within these last 3 years, I have also launched my own product line, also called IB. We have a very short line. I've also dedicated most of my time in filming masterclasses, online masterclasses to teach regular women how to maintain and help care for their hair at home. So yeah, I've been really busy in the last 3 years. So I'm excited for this 3-year cap in the end of July. I think I'll have a party.
Well, you know what? It's well deserved, and that's why I want to segue to. Then COVID hit. So what happened? How did it impact you and your business?
COVID was a blessing for me. I can't even lie. I think that COVID was either a curse or a blessing for everybody. It just depended on how you moved with it.
Because
Um,
you're an immigrant. That's why. That's my whole point. How an immigrant mindset can help cope with COVID. That was literally
what?
the title of my article.
Girl, first of all, you have to
Mhm.
understand that since 2017, and COVID was in 2020, 2021,
2020, March 2020. The
2020,
world shut down
2020.
in March
Okay.
2020.
So from 2017 to 2020, I had been on a plane. I can't even count how many planes I was on, working, going to Geneva, working. I had not stopped, like
Mm.
literally in 2 years,
Meaning on
three
the plane
years.
because you had private clients, or you were doing your master classes.
Master classes, working in other countries, etc. But I just literally had worked so hard those last years, like losing my salon, working in freelance, finding new places for us, trying to redevelop clientele, opening up another business, that I was physically and mentally exhausted, but I didn't even know it, to tell you the
Mm,
truth, because
mm,
I was so much used to just constantly, let's get this in, right? And when COVID hit, I was like, oh, so I can stay at home. So that first month,
mm.
that first confinement, I was so happy to be at home,
Ouais.
just to be in my space, because I'm never here. I was so happy to be able to spend time with the kids. Of
Mm.
course, everybody's like, what are we going to do for money? But God always provides, and I had this was before I launched my product. When I opened up the salon, I was like on the fence about signing another contract with a big company, selling these products that people know about, etc. I had a very prestigious line before in our salon on the Champs Day that we were working with, collaborating with. But something in me was like, Nicole, do you really want to sell for somebody else? So initially in the beauty salon, I would just I had something that I was using that I loved, and I would just rip the ticket off of it and sell it to my clients. If you need something here, you can take this. And it started very small, and little by little, it just started to kind of be the elephant in the room. And when COVID hit, I wasn't even ready. I did a webinar. I did a webinar on how,
I
because all my
remember.
clients are calling me, Nicole, what are we going to do? Are you doing hair? Everybody was scared at that point. Nobody was going nowhere, doing no hair at home. And they were like, what are we going to do? So I said, okay, I'm going to organize a webinar. And then that way I can present also my masterclass that I had already worked on prior to. My website had just went live in January, literally. My website went live in January. Okay, so
Wow.
we're in March.
Serendipity.
And I did that webinar, and literally I got so many sales. I think I did over 10,000 in sales that
Are you
month.
serious?
I'm not
Wow.
kidding you.
Wow.
And I was like, now see, I've got the
10,000.
wrong job.
Okay, okay, let's pause. I have to say it in French. Ton premier webinar durant le Covid, tu as fait $10 000 de vente ou 10 000
10 000
ventes?
euros. 10 000
10
euros
000
de
euros de
vente.
vente.
De
Wow.
vente.
Boss lady move.
That was amazing. I was like, now see, this is where it's at. And so that was really something that also for me, that's what COVID taught me, is that having residual income, having something that's coming in when you're not doing something. Like I've been doing hair for 27 years, you know, standing on my feet, working 10, 12-hour days. And it's like, if I'm not in the salon, I'm not making any money. If I'm not on a plane going to do somebody's hair in Geneva or in Senegal or in Cameroon or in Congo, then I'm not making any money. So how can I make money without doing something? So this is why I had already, before ahead of time, filmed all my master classes. I mean, to do like 4 master classes, I had to film probably 10 days. You know, it's a lot of work. It was a huge
That's the
investment.
amount
I
of
didn't know
work.
how I was going to sell it, you know, either afterwards. I just was like, I know my clients need it, so I'm going to
Yeah.
do it. And it's just going to sit there, you know,
How
whoever
much
wants it can
was your
get.
masterclass? How much did you charge for your masterclass to make
My master class
10,000?
is 50 euro.
50 euro. So you had like
150. 150.
150 euro. D'accord.
150.
So
But when you invest in your masterclass with us, you have your video for life.
content. Yeah. That's what I
That's
tell
different.
people. Yes.
Exactly. Because see, everything that I'm buying online, they don't let you have it for a long time. And so
Exactly.
if you don't have the time to assimilate everything on the video right away because of XYZ reason, then I think that it's better for you to be able to come back to it.
Exactly. And
You
also
understand?
it's good that you
Whenever you need it.
And it's good that you're saying that, because I think that this COVID, this confinement experience that we had, I think people also realize how much knowledge and acquiring knowledge is
Was
actually key.
important.
It's important,
Exactly.
whether it's for your hair, whether it's for your business, for your personal development. That's where people need to focus their energy. So COVID obviously clearly has been a blessing for you. And now we post-COVID means it's a new era. I know you have a lot of projects, there's things that we are working on. And my question to you is, we have this recurring questions that we have. The first for the show, Breaking New Ground. And thank you all of you for joining. I have here Nicole Pembrook. She is the founder of International Beauty Expert. She's based in Paris. She has an amazing story, her up, her down, her lessons, and she's a boss lady, and she actually deserves that term. And one thing that you will tell your younger self?
To never be afraid to change.
Ne pas avoir peur de changer. Ne pas avoir peur du
Yes,
changement. D'accord?
exactly. Because I stayed a long time in situations or places that I shouldn't have when I was younger. I had already assimilated the lesson, but I still stayed because of maybe guilt, maybe because of pressure, maybe because of lack of self-esteem. So I would tell my younger self just to keep moving forward. Whenever your body tells you, whenever your heart, your stomach tells you that something is wrong, something is. So listen to your body.
D'accord.
Yeah.
S'écouter et ne pas avoir peur du changement, surtout dans les temps qu'on vit. Hein. De toutes les manières, là, on est
Yes.
dans un changement perpétuel, hein, surtout dans les temps qu'on vit.
Yes.
Ta citation préférée, in French or in English, or both?
My what?
Your favorite... Quand on dit citation? Je le pense en anglais. I'm thinking the question in French and in English. What is your... Hein?
So I like the quote by Coco Chanel that a woman that is ready to cut her hair is ready to change her life.
when a woman is ready to cut her hair, she's ready to change her life.
She's
Coco
ready to
Chanel.
change her life. Exactly.
Donc, donc c'est Coco Chanel, quand une femme est prête à se couper les cheveux, elle est prête à changer sa vie.
Exactement. Je suis tout
That's
à fait d'accord avec ça.
Super. Is that what happened to you?
Well, no, it's because I work with a lot of women, and a lot of times clients come to see me because we have a lot more than just hair. I'll do your hair relationship. We talk about family, we talk about work, we talk about our inner feelings. I really try to give people a place of healing, and I think that a part of my my gift is definitely knowing how much hair to take off, what hair it no longer serves my client, which is why a lot of people come to see me. I think it's not just because I do hair well or something, but they know that when they sit in my chair, I'm going to take a look and see what's going on. I'm going to know how you sleep on it, what your routine has been, why you haven't been taking care of yourself, what's going on at home, etc. And then we get to the root of the point. So taking off that excess baggage, that hair that has that memory, the memory of all these the things that we've been through. Sometimes it just has to come off in order for us to move forward. It's kind of, they say that the hair is the antennas to the heavens. So we have to take care of our crowns and take even better care of our hearts.
Absolutely. And as a hairstylist, actually, you also play the role a bit of a therapist. Let's just say what you guys do sometimes. What is your favorite film, movie, or series?
Oh,
one or two. You know. So
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be real honest with you right now. I don't watch TV anymore.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's okay.
I don't watch TV anymore. I don't watch series anymore. I used to be like the biggest series buff in the world. Like I could do like 24-hour marathons if I needed to finish Game of Thrones, or if I needed to finish, what Desperate Housewives or whatever. But I've really come to the conclusion that self-care time is not imprinting your mind with images, whether it be good or bad, for you, good, we don't have control over really what we're watching for me. So I've pulled back from it, and I've gotten more into reading and meditating and, just being in silence.
Okay. Well, you're going to do an exception for me. You know that I have a documentary that dropped. I have a documentary that dropped yesterday on Netflix. So you're going to make a difference, bigger than Africa.
Okay, I'm going to watch your documentary. That's for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. I will.
And it's about Africa. And I know that, we haven't had a chance to talk about everything, but I know that you're also involved in Africa. But the last question, and there's two other questions. What if favorite place to eat in Paris for those who are watching overseas?
So my favorite place, one of my favorite places to eat in Paris is my girlfriend's. I really love to buy black. I love to support other sisters that are doing well in the industry and that have great businesses. So I have a really good sister friend named Amy that has a beautiful restaurant called African Lounge. So when I choose to go and eat African food, I'm definitely at her space.
Where is it? What arrondissement?
It's in the 8th. It's in the 8th. Yes. So it's really nice. It's a beautiful setting. The food is delicious, and the service is great.
Okay. Now, we both immigrants. Like I said, I immigrated from France to the US, to New York. You immigrate from California to Paris. How would you define the fact that you're an immigrant in France? What sets you apart from the other entrepreneurs? If there's one or two things that you want to share.
Customer service, definitely. Yeah, I'm from California, and California is just way laid back, and it's very respectful, and it's very helpful. We're generally very happy people as well. So I really try to infuse my California girl energy in my service in the salon. So I think that's one thing that makes a difference as far as French culture. Is customer service is definitely something that I think is important and that I give.
Okay.
That's different. Yeah.
And I concur. You're very good at that. And customer service is something that I would say Californian and American know how to do when it comes to business. So,
Yes.
but anyway, so I want to end this Instagram live by il y avait un concours to win some of your products. My team is supposed to be on this Instagram live and name the name of the person, but her name is Lapt, IT Blonde. Donc, je ne sais pas s'ils vont l'écrire, mais in any case, we're going to announce it on my agency page. I want to, for those who don't know me, you can follow me on my personal page, which is, yes, this is this current page, or my agency. I'm a consulting marketing brand based in New York, and I work with French-speaking entrepreneurs or founders who need guidance or to, you know, they want to expand their activities outside France and if they want to come to the US. Nicole, I thank you very much. You know how much I respect you. I respect your work. You're a real boss lady. I would like to think that there's a lot of people here that you are inspired. I think there's so much more we can do. Your story needs to be shared. And, you know, and I can't wait to share some of our new projects in the future. And voilà. In anything else that you want to say? I know c'est la fête des mères très bientôt. Est-ce que tu fais un spécial, something that you want to share here with the community?
Just thank you guys for having me. Thank you for giving me your time this evening and listening to my story. I am just happy to be here and hope to be able to see you guys one day in the salon or in New York, especially you.
Yes. Please remind your address for the people who are actually are not from France, so if they need your services.
So yes, you can contact us on www.ibe.paris. That is our website. We have a booking and reservation onglet there. We have pictures of our work. We have our master classes, and we have an online store. And you can try our products. I can guarantee you that within the next 5 years, I'm hoping to be on the map like a lot of these other product lines that are making strides in the Black community. You're going to love this line. You're going to love our conditioner treatment, our mask. It is the bestseller. And once you go with that one, you can never go back, I promise you. So
that's right.
Thank you for having me, and I hope to see you guys soon.
Au revoir tout le monde, and the replay will be available. We're going to have subtitles in French and in English. Just be patient, but it will be available. Merci beaucoup,
Great.
Nicole. Bisous.
Thank you for having me.
T'en prie. Bisous, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.